electric field, the electron will not have. So the electron can then collide, a neighboring atom, an atom can come and collide with the electron, and that process is called quenching. So you can have the electron fall onto another molecule. It can charge the molecule temporarily. That molecule then collides with the walls of the atom. So all kinds of processes can take place, and these are generally called quenching. Is everything turned on now? ये चीजें ऑन है. So just I think we'll run over by a couple of minutes at least, so we have to do this demonstration.
So I still don't get it. Over there it's 4.9 electron volts and over there it's 4.9 volts.
So the question this student is asking is that here I'm talking about 4.9 electron volts, here I'm talking about 4.9 volts. So how do we resolve this apparent paradox? कोई आप में से जवाब दे दे. The charge is constant, so the energies are related to the potential differences by V naught E. So you could either mention V naught or you could mention. This is a convenient unit because it actually allows a relationship between the energy and the voltage. That's why electron volts are so convenient to work with. Same numerical value for the energy and for the voltage. So what we have here, if you look at this apparatus, is we have a mercury tube. It's inside this capsule, and I will show you the temperature. It's currently at 160 degrees centigrade, and I don't want to touch this enclosure because it's slightly hot. So this temperature is being monitored by a thermocouple. Baat sun lo. It's being monitored by a thermocouple, and this is the electronics that actually you need some voltage to apply to the filament. You need to apply a voltage between the cathode and the grid, right? And you need to measure the voltage and you need to measure the current. And you would like to see the dip in the current and certain voltages. So what this instrument is doing here is that it is applying a sweep of voltage. It's applying a voltage from 0 volts all the way up to 40, 50, 60 volts. So it's sweeping the voltage again and again. Right? So the voltage is increasing like this, roughly. So this is time, and this is V naught. So at time 0, the V naught is 0, it goes up. And you keep on finding the current. ठीक है? So this voltage is swept again and again, again and again. And then you keep on measuring the current. And then you plot the current versus the voltage. And that is done in an oscilloscope. And we use the XY mode of the oscilloscope in order to plot the current on one axis and the voltage on the other axis. Have you used an oscilloscope before? No, alright. So you'll use it in the physics lab, of course. Alright, so here is a close-up. Let me turn off the lights. Just couple of minutes, I promise. Right, so this is the mercury tube, and this is a schematic diagram of the mercury tube. There are connections and voltages and current measurement devices, and this is the control box. And if you look at the temperature, it's about 156, 157 degrees centigrade. And the temperature is being measured by a thermocouple that is going inside the mercury tube, and it's attached to the mercury tube. Now the rest is very easy. I would like to see if we are actually seeing this Frank-Hertz curve. So we turn on the oscilloscope. Well, this is a modern version of a Nobel Prize winning experiment, because this is when quantum mechanics was being born and was being verified through experiments, because experiments are the only arbiter. They're the only way in which you can see whether quantum mechanics is correct or not. Now here you can actually see the Frank-Hertz curve. So now what we're seeing here is this axis is the voltage axis. This is the voltage axis and this is the current axis, and we're seeing these dips at precise locations, and the difference between these dips is 4.9 volts, which is 4.9 electron volts. So this is a clear proof. Let me try doing a few things. If I increase the heater current, what's going to happen? The amplitude of these dips, it will decrease. And what about the peaks? If I increase the filament current, the peaks are going to increase. The peaks are going to increase because now there are more electrons that are being emitted per unit time. But the position of the dips is not going to change because we're not changing the energy. This is what energy spectroscopy is all about. We're not changing the energy of the electrons. We're just increasing the sheer number of electrons that are being emitted. So I'm going to increase the heater current. As you see, the peaks are going up, but the position of the depressions and the position of the peaks is not going to change. And I'm going to decrease the filament current back again. And what if I change what's going to happen if I increase or decrease the anode voltage? एनोड वोल्टेज को बदलूंगा तो क्या होगा? आप फिर से बताएं, आप बताएं। एनोड वोल्टेज को चेंज करने से क्या होगा? कोई बता सकता है? मोर पीक्स or less peaks if I decrease the anode voltage. So here I am now going to decrease the anode voltage. So I see fewer peaks. Smaller anode voltage, fewer peaks. If I have a higher anode voltage, I have more peaks. More peaks show up. The reason is that now the anode voltage is higher, the electrons are being accelerated to higher energies. So a single electron can excite multiple atoms. Here on average, an electron is exciting 1, 2, 3, 4 atoms. If you increase the pressure of the gas, the number of peaks can still increase. But the voltage difference between any two peaks is always going to be 4.9 volts. And if you actually measure this voltage, it is precisely 4.9 or 5 volts. So I cannot show this from a distance, but this Frank-Hertz experiment, a modern version of a Nobel Prize winning experiment, is in fact one of the more conclusive proofs, if any is needed at all, for my convincing to tell you that the energy levels inside atoms are quantized. Thank you very much. Answers after this.